Femi's now going to go and take a break because his manager doesn't approve of the line of questioning that we're asking. It's an open, line of questioning
about Brexit,
and then we will continue. Do come on camera.
You're welcome to keep recording.
Do come on camera. Goodbye. You're going. I don't know if Femi wants to go. If I'm honest.
What would a holiday season be without a video with Katie Hopkins in it? As you know, if you've been watching my videos for a while, I love Katie Hopkins. I think she's one of the few Brits who's just, she's got balls, let's put it that way. She's tough, she's honest, she's open. She's suffered a lot for her views, and I have enormous respect for her. Now, this is an older clip from several years ago that you'll see they'll be discussing Brexit. So Brexit has just happened, and some guy who claims to represent young people, he's actually Nigerian, or his parents are Nigerian immigrants to England. But he was born there. But for some reason, he thinks he and people like him should have a say in overturning Brexit, in fact. So let's see how Katie deals with him.
There is a campaign underway in the UK to overturn the vote for Brexit. It's called the People's Vote, a fancy name for a second vote on the Brexit referendum. When I asked the People's Vote for an interview to explain why the first vote doesn't count but a second one might, they gave me Femi Oluwole. Femi Oluwole is the co-founder of Our Future, Our Choice, OFUC, operating under the umbrella of the People's Vote, targeting young voters. OFUC believes there is no good that can come out of Brexit for young people. His team had a list of demands ahead of our interview, that the interview be shown in full without edit, and as promised, that link is available now on Hopkins World. Femi even announced on his Twitter feed he didn't want to do the interview with me, which might help explain his outfit, or lack thereof. But life is short, and many of us have really important things to do with our day. So I have made this short précis of the salient points, an executive summary, if you will, of the arguments presented by Femi and the campaign group Our Future, Our Choice. I'll let Femi explain what they're all about in his own words.
Our campaign basically says young people are not happy with the way things are going. Nobody is happy with the way things are going, especially people who voted for Brexit because they wanted things to get better, and the government has been screwing it up. So there has to be a vote on the final deal, or if there's no deal, a vote on that.
The Our Future, Our Choice Brigade like to quote the fact that in 5 years, the majority of the people who voted in the referendum will have voted Remain. What he's trying to say here is that a lot of people who voted Leave will be dead. But I'm still alive, and I wondered, does it mean that your vote is more important the younger you are? What if I have a terminal illness? Should I even bother turning up to vote?
In 2021, according to the pollsters who've done the calculations based on the original vote and the age demographics of that vote, we will have a population in this country that voted to Remain.
In 2021, we will have, so hold on, 18, 19, 20, yeah, you're 3 years. In 3 years, we'll have a population in this country that voted Remain. That's your argument.
Or that makes the point that before Brexit is even complete, you have the transition period which goes until the end of 2020, and then after that we then have to start making all these trade deals with other countries. We have to re-legislate the country to get all our own laws.
But the point you're saying is in 3 years, the majority of the country would have voted Remain.
Yeah.
But I will hopefully, I mean, God knows actually, probably not, but I'll hopefully still be around.
Yes.
So are you saying that the younger you are, the more democracy you should have?
No, I'm saying that everyone's vote is equal. And given that in 2021, if you count everybody who's around at that point, vote is equal, then we will have a population that voted to Remain. Now that would mean the will of the people in 2021 will be pro-Remain.
More importantly, I wanted to know just who is funding Femi and OFUC. They have the use of prestigious offices right on the Thames in London. They're campaigning on the road across the UK and have a sizable team to fund and feed. Femi has clearly gone way off script.
So the vast majority of our funds are crowdsourced. So in December, I basically quit my job and launched a crowdfunder that said, and this was before I met the other members of OFOC, and I basically said, hi everybody, I'm going to be trying to deal with Brexit for the next year or so. Please make sure I don't starve.
So you have a crowdfunding site?
Yeah, I created a crowdfunding site in December.
Do you have that crowdfunding site now?
Right now, yeah, we have you can donate on the website.
Do you have a crowdfunding site now?
I think it
You
ran
don't?
out. I think it ran out in.
You don't have a crowdfunding site. So who's funding you now?
I'm saying that we had a crowdfunding
You
site.
did have a crowdfunding site. Who's funding you now? Who's funding Millbank floor? If I tried to have a floor of that building, it'd be very expensive. Who's paying for that?
You're asking who's funding the people that let us squat in their offices?
I'm asking who's paying for...
Who's funding the people that let them squat in their offices? Is that what's going on? Why doesn't he just say? I'm starting to wonder, is it somebody like George Soros's Open Society Foundation? Could that be who's funding them? You know, maybe they raise some money through crowdfunding. But basically, all I'm getting from this is, what is this guy even doing in the UK? His parents are Nigerian immigrants. And I think it's a good... You know, I've always said I don't think immigrants should be allowed to vote at all. And I'm an immigrant to Belgium. I don't think I should be allowed to vote. I do, of course, even though I'm a citizen now. I don't think if you're an immigrant, you should ever be allowed to vote. And maybe even hand it down to the next generation. You know, it takes several generations for people to really get imbibed into the native culture and understanding, to understand the heritage and culture of this new country that their parents have come to. I think this guy, Femi, is a good example of why we shouldn't even allow the children of immigrants to vote. And also why we shouldn't allow young people to vote. I mean, I think 18 is too young to vote. You know, I think voting is a privilege, and it should not just be given willy-nilly to young people. Young people also have to be civilized. They have to understand what is at stake. They have to understand all the traditions that led to Western society being such a great place to live and so highly sought after by the rest of the world. And at 18, they don't understand that.
For the offices that you use? Mm-hmm. It's a simple question.
That would be a mixture of, I think, Open Britain, I think...
I've completely lost your eye line.
Yeah.
It's a thing about eyesight, isn't it? When people don't know the answer, they look away.
We get some money from Open Britain, we get some money from Best Britain. Open Britain and Best Britain,
Who funds Open Britain?
They have an online donation platform as well. So we have an agreement specifically with Open Britain and Best Britain that the money they give us come from their online donations.
So curious funding streams. Who's funding People's Vote?
Again, online donations primarily.
Things were not adding up now, and in an explosive fit of rage, an OFUC team member overseeing our interview burst into the studio to shut down the conversation, telling Femi it was time to go home.
Mm-hmm. And a name of another pro-European group that funds you would be?
Best for Britain.
Great. And
we were told that this would be stopping after 10 minutes. We're taking a break.
Sure. How long would you like a break for?
10 minutes if we decide to come back. You knew this was not what we agreed. All right, Femi, let's go talk.
Okay.
You keep filming, guys. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, Femi's about to get smacked by his handlers. Apparently, he's saying things he's not supposed to say. And Katie's trying to find out who's funding this organization. I think I will watch her full interview because this could be interesting to look into. Because as we know in the United States, of course, and in the rest of Western Europe, there's all these NGOs. And the NGOs, these non-governmental organizations, which are, they're do-gooder organizations, basically. And somebody's got to fund them. Where does all that money come from? And a lot of them they are funded by foundations like George Soros's Open Society Foundation or other similar foundations who, now, I'm not trying to be conspiratorial here, I'm just saying the things they fund, the aims they have are aims which ultimately destroy Western civilization, quite simply. Whether they're doing it on purpose or not, you could argue about, but it doesn't really matter. I don't really care what their intent is. I care what their actions are and the consequences of those actions. And they are not good. And, Soros, certainly in Europe, these NGOs are like literally taxing immigrants across the Mediterranean from off the coast of Libya into Italy, they should just be shut down immediately. That's why there's been all this upset in Georgia, for example, the country of Georgia, where people were talking about they were up in arms because the government were trying to pass an anti-foreign agent interference act or something like that. And the opponents of this were calling it the Russian law, the Putin law. Yeah. Why of course, every sovereign country should have laws against foreign agents, foreign operators intervening in their domestic policies. It just makes sense. The United States has a law like that. And of course, all countries or any serious country should have it. And, the Western press were trying to frame this law in Georgia as some sort of, pro-Putin law or something. It's nothing of the kind. It's just maybe pro-Putin people wanted a law, which is, they should. Everybody should want it, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. But it's the idea of laws like this is to keep out interference from foreign-owned and foreign-funded NGOs and agents. So let's take a little longer look at this.
So Femi's now going to go and take a break because his manager doesn't approve of the line of questioning that we're asking. It's an open line of questioning
about Brexit.
And then we will continue. Do come on camera.
You're welcome to keep recording.
Do come on camera.
Look at this soy boy having a meltdown here. Oh, he's not happy. Katie Hopkins is asking difficult questions that Femi apparently can't handle and can't answer properly. Apparently she was supposed to give him a softball interview. Don't they know who Katie Hopkins is?
Camera, you're going. I don't know if Femi wants to go, if I'm honest. Femi, I don't think leaving's the answer, if I'm honest with you.
I'm gonna come back, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, go and have a little chat with your manager.
With his colleague, thank you.
It's a curious thing. I ask a simple question, and all I honestly want is a simple answer. But rather than face uncomfortable truths head on, campaigning types prefer to try to waffle their way out of it with an answer no one really cares about. I was struck by the differences between Femi and myself at his age. I grew up working in the local Wimpy, McDonald's, Woolworths and the local cake shop for £1.40 an hour. That's about $2 in new money. And after uni, I joined the army. I wondered if Femi had ever worked in places where people can be less than polite or...
Oh, I love Katie Hopkins. I am going to go check out that full interview. See if she ever got to the bottom of her questions, got her questions answered. I very much doubt it. But yes, this is an old interview. They're talking about Brexit. The whole point is this kind of stuff is evergreen, and these issues are ongoing, and they need to be tackled over and over. And traditionalists, conservatives, if you like, need to shut this stuff down, destroy the wokerati, forget letting these immigrants or children of immigrants who have nothing to do with your culture try to organize against your best interests of your people. That's what Katie Hopkins has been doing for years now, and she has suffered for it, but she's still going, and all power to her. So in the meantime, I salute you, Katie Hopkins. I've got a glass of bubbly here because it's the day after Christmas as I'm recording this, and I wish you all a great holiday season. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.